Hey guys, what's up? It's Tanner here, and today we're going to get started on the old CUB Cadet 104. So I picked it up last week, and I did kind of a quick diagnosis to see what parts I needed to be able to get it to run. So starting off, I had to clean the points, and I tested the coil, and I got spark back to the engine. So I was able to run it for a few minutes, or a few seconds on ether. So I had hope. So I ordered a few new parts, which is a carburetor, air filter, and cleaner. And we're going to see if we can get it rolling today. Alright guys, so I'm going to start off by comparing the new carburetor and the old carburetor. I was a little worried, being that this thing is so old, it's 1968, that it would be hard to get parts for, but I can actually find them, fairly easily. So by glance look, they look to be pretty darn close. Even on, let's see the side. On this side, this piece here is still on the tractor. I got to switch the fuel connection over. And then, yeah, other than that, where the jets are, everything, they seem to line up perfect. So let's get at it. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to have to do is I have to scrape off where the old gasket was, so that when I put the new carburetor on, it came with a brand new gasket, that it seats upright and I have no intake leaks. I got that all scraped off, and I'm just going to go out on a limb here. If this don't work, I can use RTV, but being that this is on the edge, let's make little slits here, just like that. And I shouldn't have any problems when I do that, but that should help it line up, because again, it's not 100% where it has to be. Just like that. Now I should be able to move it side to side in here and get it to line up. Now, should be able to work that in slowly. And I kind of have to be able to go back and forth as they start to bind. When you buy these carburetors, they come with these fuel fittings, and they just go on the side like that, and they're designed for a rubber fuel line, but this old CUB Cadet actually has steel fuel line, so I robbed the fitting off the old carburetor, and that one should just fit in here like this. And that way I don't have to change the rest of the fuel line off the pack or nothing. And then I have to switch over the throttle linkage, which should go in there just like that and connect to the governor. So I'm probably, I think I could do the governor part first. Yep, and I can do it just like that. And that just has a itty bitty C-clip. Like that. There, now that portion is all hooked up. Granted, my throttle lever is seized, but this way I can just do that number there. So that should be okay. I might be able to get the cable unseized, but it's pretty rusty, so we'll see. But now that's all up. The choke I'll have to run manually because that one's also seized as well. I mean, this thing's been sitting for probably, I don't know, at least 20 years. Everything's seized. So now that is all good. I'm going to wash out the fuel tank, connect that, pour a little gas in it, and see if we can't get it running. Alright guys, so I decided to go with a little bit of change of plans. I was going to run the original hard fuel line, steel fuel line, from the petcock straight to the carburetor, but I don't trust what's all inside this gas tank. I cleaned it out the best I could, but whatever gets past the petcock, I'd rather it not go straight into my new carburetor because I don't want to have to re-clean that. So I picked up a fuel filter, some more fittings that'll screw right into the petcock, and then I'm going to switch, and I am going to run, this one here in the end of the carburetor. So hopefully the fuel line's not real long, so I'm hoping that I have enough room to fit the fuel filter, but let's get into it and see. Okay, we are going to start by again putting this fitting in here. And I haven't pipe threaded anything. If it leaks, then I'll go back and do that, but this isn't a high pressure system. I just picked this up at the hardware store uptown. Okay. So now that is in there. So I'm going to mount the tank back up and run the fuel line. So currently I could stick this like right here and run that up, but when I put that fuel filter in there, I'm not real sure how I want to do that. So I got to be able to clear. I don't want it in the way of this throttle right here, so I don't want any binding. So, yep, I obviously can't go up here, so I would have to run it up a ways and back down. So, alright guys, I'm going to figure out how I want to lay this out, and I'll show you when I'm done. Alright guys, so I got the fuel line hooked up. I am definitely going to have to change it down the road and try to find one of the real narrow fuel filters. This one's just too big for this type of setup. So now I grabbed some wire loom, and I'm going to actually wrap the plug wire, because this is old plug wire actually off a small block. The original wire was rock hard and the boot was shot and it wouldn't stay on the spark plug, so I had this one laying around and I just threw it on. So and with the touching all the engine or all the steel on top of the engine, I don't want it to arc, you know, it'll cause it to run bad, so just trying to avoid that. So I'm just going to finish wrapping this up. little bit anyway. And see if I can get it to start working towards the line. I see there is some JB welds on the bottom of this tank by the petcock, so I'm not sure if I'll have any leaks or not. Let's see if that's enough. I don't have a real lot in there, but that's less I have to drain if it doesn't work. I'm a little worried because the way this runs, it runs kind of up. I mean, unless I keep her down like that, but that will have to be changed. The petcock's filling up. Oh, there it's starting to go. I don't know how far out I gotta back this fuel. Let's do like that much. So there is a small leak there. I can always get a new one of them, but yeah, now fuel is starting to work its way into the filters. So we'll see. Alright guys, everything's hooked up and I'm going to get ready to try and start it here. I'm not sure if my battery's strong enough, so I might have to pull the car in and jump it off that too, but we'll give it a shot. I'm going to use a little bit of starting fluid to help it pop off a little faster, and hopefully it can start priming, and then if I'm lucky I won't have to jump it. Well, that should help too. She was running, so I'm going to take the rest of the stuff off of it and see if I can't maybe drive it a little bit. Alright guys, I'm not actually sure how the clutch disengagement works, but I will have to look